why I had to make a 20-minute response instead of the 6-minute response that it should have been is because Big Lundy is muddying the waters. He's bringing up a bunch of personal crap and who lied about what. He's fabricating drama to divert attention from, what is he already talking about? A Facebook post where I said I'd rather be fucked by a goat than a black person. And that's evidence of my race hate. Just trivial crap. And so what I want to do here is just really simplify it. Big Lundy is the pro and I don't mean like professional, but he's making the pro as in the pro case versus con. He's pro, I'm con. He's pro use of racism, I'm con use of racism. I'm arguing against it, he's arguing for it. Okay? So since he's the pro, what's his case? Well, his case is two things. One is that dictionary definition or Wikipedia definitions or whatever. Somebody somewhere wrote down a definition of racism, okay? And that's his first argument, right? So we can look at that so there's a clear definition with a clear thing that it refers to. And racism is a time saver. So it's useful to use it because it saves time. Okay, saves time. Well, first, time saver. How much time does it really save to say, racist as opposed to race hater? 2 syllables versus 3 syllables. I mean, how much time does it really save? Another argument against it that I've said a bunch of times is that racism is vague, right? It not only includes the race haters, but it also includes the racial hereditarians, people who have weird sexual fetishes, or people who are not people who have weird sexual fetishes, people who are not attracted to people of a certain race, people who make any kind of descriptive generalizations, right? Yes, and so there's that. So there's the great conflation that goes on with racism, right? And I would further argue that it doesn't save time because, first off, when you call someone a racist, you also have to explain what it is anyway. So it doesn't save time because you say, oh, this person is a racist. Why is this person a racist? Well, there is no why as to why they are racist because racist doesn't actually have a real definition, which I'll go over later. But you end up having to say it anyway. So it doesn't save time, right? It's not a time saver. So that argument is bogus. And in fact, I would argue that it's a great time suck because you get people ending up getting in arguments as to what is racism. Maybe I get into those arguments more than most people, but you do, and you have panels and discussions of what is racism, defining racism. Okay, which goes into the next point, that dictionary definitions of racism exist. Yeah, sure they do. Black studies professors will say that blacks cannot be racist because they don't have the power or something. That's something that Merriam-Webster and dictionary.com would disagree with. Their definitions would disagree with that. Some people would say, I got someone saying that making generalizations about race is racism, being fixated on race is racism. There is no common definition. And it's amazing. You got Big Lundy coming here, pounding his fist, I will put you to the definition of racism. And you got all these commenters coming in, just pronouncing. They'll say, oh, you're so stupid. Racism is their personal definition of racism. And oh wow, I've never heard a personal definition of racism before. Now that I've heard your personal definition of racism, I'm totally convinced that there's a common, coherent definition of racism that is commonly understood. No, there's not. There's not. And that's why you have debates over it. It's not a time saver. It doesn't clarify. There's no consistent definition. And that's the meat of the debate such that it is. Okay? Everything else about David Duke or Rushton or what I said about goats and black penises, that's not that's diversion and muddying the water and creating drama instead of focusing on the focal point of what is actually a very simple discussion. It doesn't warrant 24 minutes on my part. like I made, it warrants 6-minute videos on my part. And it doesn't warrant 13-minute video responses by Big Lundy. It warrants 5 or 6 minutes, maybe 7-minute videos, just on the topic, because it's a simple topic. But the problem is, because it's so simple, there's no minutiae. There's not a whole lot of minutiae to hide in. Big Lundy is obviously wrong, and I think that's why he's muddying the waters. And he's kind of, and this is me psychologizing here, I believe Big Lundy has got it in his head that that fringe can never be right? Because he hangs out in a certain circle of people who lie about me, right? But also about, Mouse, Rebel News, Skid Row Radio, anybody who has the wrong opinions. They lie about, and they get the circle jerk going, and they get the group reinforcement thing, right? It's the hate club thing, and so they reinforce each other, and continually pile on the lies and pile on the complete make-believe storytelling about what other people believe. And I believe that Big Lundy, I don't know if Big Lundy goes into hate club a lot, or whether or not he's privy to that, but I believe that Big Lundy, in one way or another, has come to the conclusion that fringe can never be right, at least in relation to Big Lundy, and that Big Lundy can never be wrong. Also, fringe can never be right, especially on matters of race. And this is, I call it a matter of racism. So, that's just what I think this is going on. I think the issue is pretty clear, and that's the end of the video.
I was told this video was gonna have a comparison of fucking a fat, white, ugly woman with bed sores compared to fucking a Labrador. I was lied to.
You don't do that.
Dick Coughlin told me that. Either way, I'm just trying to make myself seem a little less attractive to fringe elements, and I think it might actually work. To all of those who had to listen to that majority of that video they were watching, I just like that you're like curled up in a ball right now. I'm sorry to have put you through the majority of that lovely, lovely video. Fringe, go fuck a goat.